Just a young man and I was
Yo,
lost. I was losing grip to my
welcome
sin,
to
freedom
Break
at
the Huddle
cost.
with your guy,
But I didn't know
Pastor
the true
Short
freedom that
T,
came with God.
where we're
Until I looked
unashamed,
in that book, man,
breaking
I was
chains
shocked.
in
I was
Jesus'
a
name.
broken kid,
If
grew up in
this
a
is your
broken
first time
home.
tuning
It was
in,
a
man, you are
project,
in
place
for
where I
a
could rest my
treat.
throne. Thought
This
about
is the
going 3 or
platform
4
for the
times to
Christian
another home.
student
They used me
athlete
deceived like I
to
was
give them an
cold.
opportunity to give their testimony to encourage and empower their peers and others as well. So, man, I am so excited about tonight, man, because it is another fire time we are gonna have. So, let's go on and get this thing rolling, man, because I am excited to get to my guest. So, the quote of the week goes like this: a man with the argument is always at the mercy of a man with an experience. Let me say that again. A man with an argument is always at the mercy of a man with an experience. That's from my guy, Bishop Larry Ragland, man. I am totally pumped about that one right there. So, before I get to my guest, I want to say thank you first and foremost for everything that you guys are doing, supporting us here on Break the Huddle and BGTV Studios. Thank you guys for support. So we're going to put the giving tools on the screen. There you go. Those are the ways that you can give online as well as you can text. So check that out. You guys help us keep going. That is right there. BGTV Studios on everything that however you want to give. That keeps us going, and we're so thankful that you are supporting BGTV Studios as well as Break the Huddle with me, Pastor Short T. But we are going to get into this thing tonight, and this is going to be another 5 episode, as I said. But I want to just get ready to introduce the guy. He's the former linebacker over at Birmingham Southern. But now he's a coach over in Georgia with Harrison High School in Powder Springs, Georgia. And you know what? He's a preacher. So I need y'all show some love to my guy, Coach Grant Suttle.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Man, welcome to Break the Huddle, my guy.
Glad to be here. Glad to be here.
Man, I am totally pumped to have you on this episode, man, because your story is totally different. We're going to get into that a little bit later. But, I want you to go ahead. We're going to give some shout outs. I want you to talk about who your mom and dad is. I need you to say their name, show them some love, then shout out to your church, your other church, as well as family and friends. Go on and give them shout outs, man.
Yeah, first and foremost, obviously, like you said, I got to give a shout out to my mom and my dad, Christian and Cappy Suttle. I know it's hard sometimes dealing with me, but I love you and I appreciate everything you do for me. I also want to give a shout out to my siblings, Connor, Mason, Brennan, and Tati. I love y'all, and we've been through some rough times, but we also been through great times. I want to give a shout out to my church back in Birmingham, Short Creek, Pastor Ron and Miss Marilyn.
Yeah.
Those are my spiritual family. Brother Reese, you had them on, and Brother Ken on earlier.
Yeah.
I also want to give a shout out to my boy, Brother James, and my church family, where I'm at now at North Metro Church. I want to give a shout out to Brandon Weber and his wife, Alex Weber. He's the college pastor at North Metro. And I want to give a shout out to my boy Ty, my friend Valeria, Anna, Gigi, Miles, and Danny. That's my other family I have down here that God has blessed me with.
Awesome, man. Hey, you had to run down the whole list. You didn't miss nobody.
I did, man.
You did good.
They made sure I had the list checked off.
Man, let me give a shout out to the people online. My guy Brad. Hey, thank you for the opportunity, Brad. And Vera Taylor. And she said,
"Yeah, that's my cousin."
Okay, that's
my
family
aunt right there.
That's family right there. Okay, cool, man. So, Grant, I like to do this, man, where we call it rapid fire. This is our version of the 2-minute huddle, man. This is our 2-minute warning where we're in the 2-minute ticker. So I'm going to ask you a few questions, man, and you just fire off what comes to mind, man. So one of the things I always have to check people on, favorite old school family sitcom. What you got?
I'm going to have to go with Fresh Prince.
Oh, right? My guy.
I'm going to have to go with Fresh Prince, man.
Oh,
That's
there, man.
Right there.
There, man. Okay. All right. Favorite fast food?
Favorite fast food will have to be right now Whataburger. It's a
Okay.
good place, man.
Man,
Good
they just
place.
shut ours down over here in Trussville, man. I'm mad about that.
Ah, man.
I'm mad about that right there, man. Okay, now we're gonna go back a little bit. You at the house
Okay.
now, but
I'm at the
look,
house. I'm at the
yeah.
house.
Hey, favorite home cooked meal?
Man, my mom makes this good pasta.
Uh
It's like a little pizza pasta. She puts pepperoni in it. Man, shout out to mom. That's the best meal right there.
now, since I've been doing this, people have came up with some meals that I'm just gonna have to step in and say I'm coming to dinner.
Okay.
I
Okay.
done heard some meals that I'm like, man, I need to try that right there. All right, now, are you a DC or a Marvel comic guy?
I'm gonna have to go with Marvel.
Man, you my guy, bro.
Hands down. Hands
Man,
down.
when somebody said DC, I was like, for real? Really?
Come on, man.
But that's a good one. Okay, now we're closing it out with this one.
Okay.
Besides Jesus, favorite person in the Bible?
Favorite person in the Bible, I would have to go with David.
Okay, talk to me.
So David, to me, man, growing up in the church, something about David's story just always spoke to me. You
Okay.
know, man committed every sin in the Bible, but still had a heart that was for God. You know, and just to see how through it all, he just went right back to God. As soon as he sinned, he was like, Lord, you can take everything away from me, but just don't leave me. And I desire to have a heart like that. That's
Man.
so on fire for God, where it's like, God, you can take everything from me, just don't leave me.
Well, that'll preach right there, man. Hey, you must
Yeah,
have that sermon in your pocket.
yeah. Hey, it's locked and loaded when it's needed.
Awesome, man. Okay, now we're gonna get into this tonight. We're talking about ordering my steps, and let me go to the scriptures. In Psalm 37, verse 37 and 38, it reads like this in the New Living Translation: "Look at those who are honest and good, for a wonderful future awaits those who love peace. But rebellious people will be destroyed; they have no future." So one version says the good steps of a righteous man are ordered by the Lord. That's one version that says that. So, Grant, we want to get into your story. Okay, what high school did you graduate from?
I graduated from Hillgrove High School, which is right down the road from the school where I coach at right now.
Okay, and they didn't
Yes,
didn't
sir.
offer you a job. Something wrong with it?
We tried, but that just wasn't in God's plans.
Oh
And God's plans is bigger than anything I could possibly imagine.
man, that hey, you talking business there? Okay, let's go to your senior year of high school.
Okay.
How many sports did you play your senior year?
Senior year, I was down to one. It was
Okay.
just football.
Okay.
I knew that's what I wanted to do, so I narrowed it down.
Okay, most people don't. Man, so your senior year, you done balled out. So you're coming down to making a decision about playing at the next level. Let's go through that process and how you chose the college that you went to.
Yeah, so with that decision, man, there's a lot of factors that went into it. But the school I obviously decided to go with was Birmingham Southern, and they were the first school to ever give me an offer. And I told my dad when they gave me the offer, I was like, this school will forever have a place in my heart. And when everything hit with COVID and every school that did give me an offer or PWO pulled back and was like, we don't want you, Birmingham Southern stayed with me the whole entire time. And it was just a no-brainer. You know, my dad grew up in Birmingham. All my family's down there. So it was a no-brainer. And if it wasn't for that school, I wouldn't be where I'm at today.
Man, so you ended up at Birmingham Southern. As a freshman, you go through the process and everything. So let's walk through that process of you being at Birmingham Southern, things you were experiencing. You hadn't came to know Jesus for real. So let's walk through that.
Yeah, so, you know, like most Christians out there,
Say that
I
again.
went to church, like
Say
most
that.
Christians out there.
Okay,
You
thank you.
know, I went to church on Sundays, and I was like, all right, I can check that box off. You know, I'm good. I got my Jesus in for the week. I'm gonna go back to living my life, and that's how it was for a long time. You know, and my parents raised me in the church. and they set good examples for me. But when it was my time to be by myself, I wanted to do what Grant wanted to do, and not what the Lord wanted to do. And for a second, man, everything goes well, or at least you think it's going well. I was rotating my freshman year on the football field. School was going pretty good. I had a good friend group, but as time went on and throughout the years at that school, man, God really opened up my eyes and showed me some things.
Man, let's talk about, you were telling me about the situation that you had to learn the hard way when you basically had to be suspended. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so again, man, I'm going into sophomore year, and coach is telling me, "Hey, man, you're fighting for the number one spot." And he was like, "Man, you technically got it in the bag," and I was all for it. I was like, "Hey, I got it. Nobody can touch me." And my pride was definitely taken over, and that's something that I always battled with, was pride. And I got an invite to go to a party, and the Lord was in my ear telling me no, and the devil was in the other ear telling me, "Hey, man, you already got the position. Go have fun." And I chose Plan B. I went and had some fun, and those people that I call my friends, when things started to hit the fan, and I made the decisions that I made, they weren't really there to help me out. They kind of just let me do what I was about to do and, make a dumb decision. And when the coaches found out, my dad found out, he was ready to send me to the military. And luckily, and now that I have lived through it and I see it, my head coach, I feel like God was speaking through my head coach and was using him as like a guardian angel at the time. He convinced my dad to let me stay at the school. And during that time, man, I was suspended for 5 weeks. And the devil was just in my ear, just telling me, "Man, like, it ain't your fault. Like, blame it on other people. They should have been there." Or, the coaches, they don't understand, like, you're the dude. Like, come on, man. Like, when you get back, you're going to be that guy. And so, man, as time went on, the final weeks went by, and I'm being arrogant. I'm showing up to practice, cussing out my teammates, telling them that, if it was me out there, like, nothing would, we wouldn't be losing. Like, y'all need me, this, that, and the other. And my ego was really just talking. My pride was fully in control. The devil had me. I was, as Pastor Ron says, man, I was the devil's little plaything. I was just like, "Man, whatever you say, devil, I'm right there, bro. Like, you tell me I'm the best thing in the world, then I'm the best thing in the world." And I came in after my suspension was over to talk to the head coach, and he was like, "Man, we're not going to move you back up. You've been performing well, but you haven't learned your lesson." And that sit with me. I was like, "What do you mean I haven't learned my lesson? Like, what are you talking about? I've done everything you told me to do. I've been on practice squad. I've worked hard. I've done everything you told me to do." Right. And it finally clicked in, and the guy spoke to me, and he was like, "Man, like, it's not about you. It's about the team. It's about the community, the people around you." And man, like, when I realized that, my whole entire perspective that season just changed. It really was, how can I help the people around me get better? How can I help my teammates get better? And for the rest of the year, I wasn't a problem. I kept my head down. I did what I was told, and I just kept going. And during that time, man, like, before that all happened, I was battling with deep depression. Like, I was locking myself in my room after practice. Nobody would see me. Sorry, parents. Sorry to my mom and dad, but there was a moment I wasn't even going to classes. Like, I would just show up on exam day, take the exam, and leave. Like, I didn't want to be around people. I didn't sit with my teammates. I just was like, nobody understands me, so I'm gonna just go be by myself. And the Lord just told me, "Man, that's not true." And man, he opened up my eyes, man. He introduced me to Brother Reese, who, he doesn't understand this, man, how truly grateful I am to meet him. Because he has been my brother since day one when he came to that campus. and he was the one that brought me to Short Creek.
Man, okay.
Yeah.
Now you run into Maurice. So were you a sophomore or a junior?
I was a sophomore at the time when I met Reese. He was a freshman.
Okay. Okay, let's talk about the encounter you have and he invites you to church. Let's get into that, man.
Yeah,
Cause you
man.
had heard about it. You had heard about it.
Yeah, I heard about it, man. He been telling me like, man, I've been going through like some chest pain, and I'm like, bro, you look fine. Like, what are you talking about, chest pain? I was like, you look good, dude. I was like, you need to stop complaining and come play football. Like, and he sits me down one day. He's like, man, this is what I've been going on through. Like, I had to go get deliverance. Like, I've been battling with Jezebel spirits and the spiritual realm. And I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? Like, I was like, dude, you sound crazy. And I personally wanted to take him to like a doctor. I was like, you're crazy. And man, he's like, bro, you got to come to this church. And I was driving out there with me and a friend of mine because I wasn't going by myself, man. I was like, this place out in the middle of nowhere. And we were driving down there, and I literally was like, man, we might get killed today.
Because like, it is out there a little bit.
It's out there a little bit, man. It's out there. But, man, when I got there, I've never felt a presence and I never felt something like that before in my life. And it was the Holy Spirit. Mm-hmm. And he touched me where I was. God met me where I was, and he was like, this is what it means to follow me. You've known me for a long time, but you haven't followed me. I'm finna open your eyes. And man, to this day, I'm just like, every single time I step foot in that church, I'm just like, man, there's something about just being in that church, man. God is in that building, and you can't even deny it.
Yeah. Yeah. Me and my family went there yesterday, and most definitely what Reese said, for those who don't know who Reese is, Maurice Davis, he was on the show. He was on my earlier episode. So you want to go back and hear the message from him and hear his testimony. You will understand what we're talking about here. But what's key is Short Creek was the place where a lot of Birmingham Southern athletes were coming to and still are going to this day. And it's amazing. But the one thing that all of you guys have said is the love they showed.
Amen.
And I'm talking about each and every one of y'all have said the same thing. And I believe the same little old white lady came up and hugged me and my family yesterday. I believe so.
Hey, she did. Okay. I know she did.
Yes. I believe it's the same one because she made her way back there and hugged every one of us. Mm-hmm. So they do show the love, man. So shout out to Pastor Ron and Miss Marilyn. They are doing phenomenal work out there, and they're giving you guys the opportunity. And I feel bad that I didn't. He sent me some pictures of when you were just wrecked on the floor,
man.
And man, it was genuine, and I could see it. And I'm telling you, man, that experience of you giving it all up. Let's talk about you giving it all up right there. Let's go.
Man, that's crazy, man. Because I was actually reading Jeremiah, and it was talking about the topic that we're talking about right now. Like, the Lord will ordain your steps, and when you seek Him with your full heart, you will find Him, right? And man, when I was in that church, I seeked Him. I seeked Him with my full heart, and I was like, God, like, I'm here. Lead wherever you call my feet to wander. Let my feet wander. And that was one of the last things I remember when the school shut down and everything. Man, that's what I prayed. I was just like, God, like you said to your disciples, man, like, you went before us, and I know you went before me. You lived a perfect life, so I know that I can do this. I know that I can withstand this race. And I was just like, God, like, wherever you call me to go, I'm going to go. If nobody else is going to go, if nobody else is going to do it, call on me, and I'll pick up that cross and we'll get to walking.
Man, that's it right there, because here you are, 21 years old now. And for those who don't know, Birmingham Southern shut down this past summer. And you had to make a transition and make some decisions. And what you just said leads me into this point right here. And you can let everybody know what was the steps after that.
Yeah. Man, it was just God showed me, man, I can't do this on my own anymore. I've been trying to live this life on my own and do it my way. And it's never worked out the way that I intended it to. But God has always made his path clear, and he always brought me back to it. And I just remember sitting in my room and my mom talking to me about where we're going to school and how I'm gonna finish. I was just like, man, God's got it. I don't know where I'm gonna go, but God's got it.
That's
Like,
it.
and even with this coaching job that I have right now, it was the same thing, man. I'm asking my dad to call all his friends, try to get me a coaching job, and nobody calls me, right? And one day I just went up to my room. I said, Lord, you got it. I'm done. I'm done asking. I'm done asking around. I'm done getting no's. I'm done people not calling me back. If it's meant for me to coach, it's meant for me to coach. And the next day, I kid you not, the next day, man, I'm listening to a song called Trust in God. And man, it's just like I get a call from my old DC. He's like, hey man, I've been hearing you're thinking about coaching. I was like, yes, sir. He's like, man, I'd love for you to come coach, be a part of my staff. I was like, God, there you go, man. I was like, there you go again. So, man,
So how are you enjoying coaching right now, and how are you inspiring the young brothers that you're around, as well as your coaching staff, man?
yeah, I'll just say, man, God has truly given me a blessing with this job. I see a lot of myself in those kids, um, and just the way that they, carry themselves. Um, and for me, I take them on as like a big brother. You know, um, I'm the guy that they come to on the coaching staff that they want to mess with and hang out with, and I'm like, those are my guys.
Yeah.
And I'll do anything for them. I pray for them every night. Those are my guys. And even with the coaching staff, man, they have accepted me with full arms. I remember the first time I stepped into that office, I was kind of, that shy kid that when he first comes to school, he's not talking to anybody. And all those coaches was like, hey, man, like, nice to meet you. My name is such and such. I heard you were from Hillgrove and you went to here. And I was like, yes, sir. Man, it's just the conversations that we have about God and uh, just the conversations we have about life in general, man. They've just shown me so much about what it is to step into that world and what it means to be there for those kids, you know?
Man, that is what's up, man. Being the light in the midst of darkness, man. What
Mm,
I like for you to do, Grant, man, you have made a major jump, man, and you're gonna continue to impact people in the realm that you're in the field that you're in, because you're gonna finish your degree. You're just
mm,
about, hey, you're winding down on that, so I'm proud of you on that aspect. But what would you say to the people, whether they're coaching in football, sports, whatever, in college, and they're at that crossroads about what to do?
mm.
Talk to them about how you went to God, man. Just talk to them and tell them
Man,
how to do it.
just give it to them. I mean, I don't think there's a more simple way you can put it, man. God is going to meet you where you are, no matter where you are. And he loves you, man, more than you can possibly think of it. Like, imagine giving your only son for the whole world. He loves us that much, and all he's saying is to just give it to him. And I finally did that with my life and just have seen the things he's done in my life. And that's the word I give to everybody, man. Just give it to him. Those nights where you're up late and you're crying and you're thinking about what you're going to do next, just go to him because he's always listening and he wants to hear from you. He hears your tears. Even when you don't think that he's working, he's working. So just that's my word, is just give it to him. And just trust that he has and will have everything under control.
Man, awesome word, Grant. Coach Grant. Hey, awesome word, man. Hey, man, you have set this thing on fire, man. At 21 years old, you're coaching, you're fulfilling your dream, man. That is phenomenal, and you're impacting lives with the gospel. And I look forward when you come back over this way, or I'm over that way, man, that we
Yes,
get together
sir.
and chop it up, bruh. But for sure, man, you have done your thing, man, and God has done his thing tonight as usual. So,
Amen.
man,
Amen.
hey, man, thanks for everybody tuning in to Break the Huddle with Pastor Short T, where we're unashamed, breaking chains in Jesus' name. And
Amen.
we are out of here. Love y'all.